What's up, guys? Today's video, I'm going to take you on a tree stand tour across my small private property here in Northwest Pennsylvania, explain a couple of my setups. Right now as I speak, we're only a couple days away from opening day. I'm out checking trail cameras. Several of my mock scrapes have been tore up. If I have any good pictures to share, I'll post them at the end of this video. This is the hill climb stand. It doesn't get hunted as much as it used to. My neighbor put a tree stand over there about 100 yards away a couple years ago, and it really shut this spot off from what it used to be. But occasionally a shooter buck still comes through here. I don't brush this stand in anymore, primarily because it only gets hunted maybe 3 times at the most. But I have pretty good cover. I'm right there in a cluster of 3 maple trees. I'll climb up there and give you a view and a breakdown of why this stands here. This little wildlife opening, we call it the hill climb food plot. We used to plant it, but now we just mow it once or twice in the summer, and you'd be surprised how many deer come in here and find something to eat. But what we have here, there's a ravine, kind of oxbows right off that point. This ridge right here for about 150 yards is extremely steep, and deer rarely ever cross it. So they typically come right down this ridge right here, and there's a 4-wheeler trail right there and right here, and they usually come right down through here, heading to the nut trees and my neighbor's hay field. And during the rut, for many years, until my neighbor put a tree stand up, this ridge right here used to just be a highway for deer during the rut. Over here towards the west, here's one of my deer walls. It kind of makes an L shape, just the way it worked out. It's just a pile of tree tops and some hinge cut trees. Even that whole section there, I've gone in and hinge cut a bunch of junk trees, just trying to force the deer to come in bow range of me here, or on the other end, put you up in the middle food plot and puts them almost in bow range of the middle food plot stand. There's another deer wall that goes back through there as well. Really helps pinch them down with that oxbow and the steep ravine. 3 different deer walls through here. It's just an amazing funnel. You can see our, what we call the old driveway, that mowed grassy area there. It goes out about 70 yards out to a road. And that's my entrance exit point. I'll actually have a trail back through the woods here to the stand, because the deer run that driveway a lot. And across the road is about a 40-acre hay field. Over here, kind of to the northeast-ish and northwest side of me, it's tons of nut trees. There's red oaks, shagbark hickories, pignut hickories, beech trees. And that's pretty much one of my main lanes to shoot. There's a big red oak right there that drops tons of nuts almost every year, about 30-yard shot. And then you see when it starts to get thick, this is the driveway clear cut. Have a little wildlife opening back in there. But it's about an acre area. We cut down every tree about 15 years ago. So my plan is they're gonna bed there, come up into this area, maybe hit the grapevine scrape, which is literally like an 8-yard shot. And they'll come up and just kind of stage in this area, maybe eat some nuts, and then right before dark they cross the road out into the neighbor's field. Next stand is the field edge stand. No need to brush this one in. It is in a huge cluster of maple trees. And the name Field Edge Stand kind of tells you the setup, right on the edge of the corn. I'm gonna climb up there and give you a breakdown of why this stand's here. You can see that right away in between the corn and the woods. That is a deer highway. And over to the left of the lane here, this entire area, several acres, was heavily selective cut and has created a jungle of bedding cover. There's our gas well. Sit down here, you'll be able to see better. Back on the edge of that wood line is the gas well food plot. And right here is the gas well road that will take you all the way out to the road out there where we park. We use the gas well road as our entrance exit route most of the time. I will occasionally use the cornfield to sneak into this stand. Right there's my grapevine mock scrape. Alright, I'm back at the next tree stand. We call this the stump pile stand. It's another one of those stands that only gets hunted a couple times a year. Usually in November during like peak rut is when I'll hunt this. We'll climb up there in the stand and show it to you. I do not brush this stand in. I do have a piece of burlap that goes across the front of it that the wind must have blew down. And first off, I'll explain how it got the name the stump pile. It's hard to tell now, but there's a huge pile of stumps right here that's all growing up now. From when they put in our gas well, they pushed all the stumps and trees here in a big pile right where I told them to, and it's created an awesome pinch point. That opening's the gas well food plot. It forces the deer to go through that food plot or right behind me into the wildlife opening. You're right up in the bedding. Any time of day a buck could come cruising through here. I have several shooting lanes, all tight corridors, all under 30-yard shots. Over here is the area we call the small swamp. And here's the wildlife opening, native food plot. And there's 6 different deer trails. There's one here, one there, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, and there's one right here. 6 different trails that all come out into this opening and bow range. The access isn't the best. I have to walk down the edge of the cornfield, and I do have to cross through my gas well food plot. So this is the stump pile. We'll be back here in November at some point. Follow along my 2023 deer season.